Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. And today I want to talk about my question is, why does the internet make me angry? Now, I'm not sure how much this comes across, considering that I have rambled and ranted a few times about some things. But I am generally an even-tempered guy. I don't get really angry all that often. It's fairly rare to see me get angry enough to fly off the handle and yell and I mean, I've been married to my wife for over 30 years, and I think in that entire time, I don't think we've actually had heated arguments more than half a dozen times. Um, Aside from the times, when I make a wrong turn when we're driving and she yells at me because I took a wrong turn, we'll get in heated arguments. That's some, tense little moments there, but some honest, real angry fights we've had maybe, saying half a dozen is a lot. I don't think it's actually more than three or four, but I'm going to say half a dozen just to be on the safe side. I'm pleasant. I try to be pleasant. I don't like being angry, so I do. And I think I keep a pretty even keel most of the time. I'm very much of a laid back, you know, you do you kind of guy. I don't. I'm not very judgmental. At least I try not to be. And I'm pretty much content to let other people live their lives without my interference. So I really don't um, go out of my way to do anything like that. I'm just, I'm here. I want to have a good time. I want other people to have a good time. That's it. Like I said, I'm a pretty even-tempered kind of guy. And so I don't know why seeing people be stupid on the internet, and we're in an election cycle, so there's a lot of stupidity on the internet these days, more than usual, I think, or at least it's being fed to me more often than usual by the algorithm. And it does really, really drive me into a rage, some of these things I see on the internet. And I don't know why that is. I genuinely don't. You know, I I see I'll watch the news, or when I have watched the news or documentaries or things like, I will get angry when seeing injustice and things like that in the news and stuff. But it's when I see people making these really ignorant, stupid comments that I just throws me into a rage. And I do not know why that happens. And I've been thinking about this for quite a while now, off and on. And I've actually, gone to the internet and said, why does the internet make me angry? And hit enter. And the only thing that really comes back, the most common response I see for everything is that, because of the anonymity of the internet, I'm free to lash out without consequence. But I don't think that applies here, because I'm not looking to lash out without consequence. Um, that's not what I'm about. And I mean, I've gotten in heated arguments with people I know in real life and gotten just as furious at them. So these are not, consequence-free interactions. I know these people. Granted, I haven't had those kind of arguments with many people that I know, but there's been a few discussions online where I have just gone off in ways that I would not have done in person, and not, with people I know. So like I said, these are not consequence-free. I'm not looking to have a consequence-free troll rage, fest on the internet. That doesn't apply here. And I've been looking into it, and no one's really had a good answer to the question that I've asked. It's like, why does this make me so furious? Why do these things on the internet make me so furious? When if I was sitting in a room with someone and they said something really, really stupid or ignorant or judgmental or whatever, I might get angry at them, but it wouldn't, and I may try to point out their ignorance or their stupidity, but I wouldn't do it in such a way that is the same as my reactions to the internet. And, for some reason, seeing this stupidity online magnifies my anger in ways that I do not understand. And no one else seems to understand it either. They all come up with the same answer. It's because you can say hateful things without, any retaliation. It's like I'm not trying to do that. Nothing about me is trying to do that. I'll see people make these comments that I, might want to point out the error of their ways, but you know, I just don't understand the anger because it's not. I won't say I don't have a lot of pent up rage about things, because in a way I do. A lot of times with the frustration that I can't change things for the better. I'll see these injustices that happen in the world, and I'll just get, you know, I have to internalize my frustrations and anger at these things because I can't change them. I can't change what's happening in the Middle East. I can't change what's happening in Russia or China or Palestine or the Congo or anywhere else that I see horrible things happening. I am powerless to do anything about that. So that's a lot of internalized anger and frustration at that. But it's not, I'm not looking for ways to vent that on other people. I don't want to unleash unnecessary anger on people who don't deserve it. That is very antithetical to what I am as a person. I strive to be fair to people. That's probably my only virtue, is that I try very, very hard to be fair. And being fair means you don't unload your problems on someone else. You don't, vent your anger at one thing on someone who doesn't had nothing to do with it. So I really, really struggle with this. Because of the election cycle and the rampant stupidity on the internet, I have tried to distance myself further from the internet as much as I can. It's difficult when I have to open up the internet for work and the algorithm throws news in my face that it thinks I want to see, and it's just like, no, I don't want to see this. It's just going to make me angry. Just let me do my work research in peace and don't throw the news in my face, because I just don't want to be angry about this stuff, and I know it will make me angry. The closest comparison, the closest thing I could see that might have made sense and might have somewhat applied to this situation is someone mentioned road rage. One article that I was looking at did mention road rage. They mentioned how when you're in the car and someone cuts you off in traffic or something, that seems to throw people into a frenzy. But it was also based on the same premise of, well, you're alone. They're in their car, you're in your car. You can get angry and rant and rave without having to worry about the social consequences. But that was the closest thing I could find, because I have noticed that I do get angry in traffic when someone does, cuts me up or something like that. So I do feel angry. So there must be something about the isolation of it. I'm in a car by myself, or even not by myself. I'm in the car with other people, but even then, it's not as severe. I'm even as a driver, I'm pretty laid back. If someone cuts me off in traffic, it's like, well, they wanted it more. They must be in a rush to get somewhere. I mean, it's sarcastic. I don't really believe that. I think they're just being a dick behind the wheel of the car. But I have gotten angry when people do stupid stuff in traffic like that. Especially if it's something that, if I hadn't reacted in time, could have caused injury to myself or other people. That does make me angry, but that's more understandable. They've done something dangerous as opposed to doing something stupid. But it's the closest I could come to anything that's analogous to what's going on in my head and in my emotions. And I guess I'm just rambling about it and maybe wondering if anyone has any insights. I would welcome comments if anyone has any thoughts about this. If anyone could maybe help me understand it in ways that internet searching couldn't. But it's just been a thought in my head, and the current election cycle has brought it to the forefront more than usual. So that's it. Good hunting.